We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today is Jack Thursday, and I'm going to talk about your land investing niche actually chooses you, not the other way around. It's not the first time we've discussed this on the show. I guess, as is with most things, since we're on episode 1646.
There might be some duplicates
There's
in here.
some overlap.
But you know what, though? I would argue there's a reason they come up because we figure out something new. You know, I'm sure on show 646, we had different things to say about niche than we do 1646. And no, that's not a typo.
This is a very common theme that you hear in business all the time about how the business that you ultimately are involved in or choose, or you think we make all these choices. And honestly, there's a lot of things that just chooses us. Like Jill chose
women?
me.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. Let's see. Let's think about it. What are a few things that you don't get to choose? You don't get to choose your children.
Boy, that's sure.
And you don't get to choose your parents. And you don't get to choose your siblings. So I wish I did.
But you can choose your friends, which is why you spend the most time with them.
You can choose where you live, what you drive. You can choose how you look. You can choose your hair color. What do you got?
I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go here.
Oh, good. That's fine.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free, and don't forget to subscribe on the Land Academy YouTube channel and comment on the shows you liked.
Anthony wrote, one topic I would like to hear about is what people get. Oh, please. We're having a little, what's the word I'm talking about?
Teleprompter catastrophe.
Technical error. Okay. One topic I'd like to hear about is how people get wrecked in the land business. Well, this is hilarious, especially if you could add a cautionary tale. My take is that staying away from too much leverage is probably the key to not getting wrecked. I like the term wrecked.
I do
It's
too.
funny. I never use that. It's tempting to finance a purchase or two with credit when your acquisition budget is maxed out. Property values go up and down. Most of the time they go up. But if you are over leveraged during a downturn, that debt could be working against you on a levered basis. Not saying that we will see a downturn soon. In fact, I see the opposite with inflation as a dominant narrative ATM, but it's prudent to know where the risks lie.
So I've been communicating with Anthony about this and other things in Discord.
Wrecked.
I have a lot to say about this.
This is good. Go ahead.
Because Jill and I were just about flat broke in 2009-ish.
Yeah.
Which is about the time we met-ish. And so I was, prior to that, had a yacht. And so we we got wrecked by that downturn. And here, the only reason that we made it out of it, and I say this in a live event, every time we do a live event, multiple friends who are in the same business, not necessarily land, but somehow in real estate in Phoenix at the time, either ended up dead or filing bankruptcy or both. And so we didn't have to do that. Mm-hmm. And it was for one reason. We just didn't have any debt.
Right. Saved us.
What
and
we did
property,
was
we sold those assets.
We had tons of property. Mm-hmm. We had a good amount of cash saved up individually. And we had all kinds of fallback plans and everything else. So what saved us is we took that cash. We sold some of the properties, or a lot of the properties, for cash and lost money on it, but we were able to just liquidate it all and go and buy a bunch of houses and turn that all around for ourselves. So it's not what I want to do. And certainly that's not what we do now, but we got out of that recession around 2011 or 12 because we made some really good acquisition choices, both the houses and the land. And that would never have been possible if we leveraged stuff. So please take this seriously. If you're young or young in the business, use equity to finance deals, not debt.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot express this enough. Oh, Jack, but it's so expensive. If I go get a credit card debt or tertiary debt, or you do a second mortgage on my house, it costs nothing. It costs 3%. Are you nuts?
Yeah, I don't have to split the profits with anybody.
Nuts? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll make more money doing it that way. Yeah, this is better.
So follow me on this. Great. Now you've got an acquisition that's 10 properties, or you have 10 acquisition candidates that are logical. They make sense to you.
Right.
You have two choices. You can find somebody, deal funding partners within the Land Academy community, or you can do what I just said, and split the profit with something. It's the numbers. Let's say you can make $100,000 on these 10 deals. You make 50, the other person makes 50. Everybody, now you've got $50,000 instead of zero. Or you could go borrow all kinds of money to do the deal and make the entire $100,000 profit, which is very tempting. And most finance instructors at the college level are going to say, yeah, you should use debt as leverage, not equity. I disagree with that. Mm-hmm. Because if something goes south, and it always does, always, you can go back to that equity partner and say, yeah, we kind of knew this was possible, but we're in this together, so let's figure it out together. And now you don't have creditors calling you and banks repossessing things and all kinds of terrible stuff that can happen that I've been through. Mm-hmm. Not since I've known Joe, but I've been through that stuff in my life. And again,
I have two separately.
You're here to learn from us. I'm really glad that Anthony asked this question, because a lot of times it's all peaches and cream on the show. And that's all, this is great, and we've got expensive cars. Who cares? The fact is, we've been down and out, and we've been down and out together. And that's one of the reasons we built this thing. We built an empire that crumbled. And when I met Joe, we built it back up together. And it's one of the reasons that we work great as partners, both socially and professionally, is because we've been through a lot together.
It's true.
Wouldn't you want to do that with a partner? Or do you want to do it with Bank of America?
Yeah. You know what's interesting too? I was thinking about affordable housing. We moved into what we could afford.
Yeah.
And it was what? Maybe 1,000 square feet? I can't even remember. With kids too, by the way. That was
we did it.
Bunk beds, but that was okay.
Please don't leverage anything with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You eventually will get stung pretty hard.
Yeah.
And it's very, very hard to undo.
Yeah.
If a deal goes south and all you gotta do is pick up your phone with your deal funder and say, this thing went south. We have a couple.
I took them back. Yeah, I funded. I'm like, okay, great. And that's fine. So it happened. Actually, one's about to close.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Today is Jack Thursday, your land investing, and I'm going to talk about your land investing niche chooses you, not the other way around. This is why you're listening. I'll start with yet another story. Very recently, I went into a market. Jill and I do separate land deals sometimes, and I'm going to just tell you my story. She's probably got a couple too. And bought a property that I found out during the acquisition process that was conducive to putting a mobile home on it. And that the municipal environment was very pro mobile homes. I didn't know this. I bought the property anyway with, I think we paid $12,000 or $14,000 for it. I was going to sell it for $45,000 or $50,000 very successfully and very quickly. And that's what happened. We did. I rolled it all into Jill's stuff. She sold it. It was a very fast deal. She sold it based on a sign that we had a photographer put up. And we all high-fived each other like we usually do. And wow, that's great. We made a lot of money. What I found out later is that if we put a mobile home on it, it would have been worth $300,000. And so granted, that's a different animal. There's well drilling and there's a bunch of stuff involved, but you can really hire that out very effectively with layers of people and still make way more than what we made. So this mobile home niche, which everybody loves now, probably because we talk about it on the show a lot and on the Thursday calls. Mm-hmm. And by the way, will be the topic of the next career path, which starts in January, is a niche that found me. I didn't go out there and say, I want to buy mobile homes with their own land. I didn't do that at all. And so there's all kinds of niches. There's something going on in Discord with recreation land right now that it's specifically in the southeastern parts of the countries, because they're going into this realizing that it cannot be built on. It's only for fun. Mm-hmm. And there's a niche for that. And it's not one that these people have been Land Academy members for a while, actually career path members, both of them. And they're realizing how much land is this just can't be built on because it's wet. But
there's a use for it.
There's massive use.
There's stuff you can do with it. You know what one of my niches is that I love? One of my niches is building a whole little side thing around a broker that I love.
Yeah.
And now
that's a great example.
And when I found this guy, like I was hearing things about this part of the country. I'm like, I'm going to test this and find some deals, and I'm going to make some calls and see who I connect with. And I connected with this guy, and now he's like, you need this. We need to get these zip codes and this price per acre. I can sell it all day long, and that's a beautiful niche. So, but there's lots of different variations of this.
Too many to list. Mm-hmm. That's one I didn't even think of, what Jill just said. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily a land type niche like mobile homes or wetlands, or recreation land. Now she's building an entire operation around one good real estate agent.
And you could have 3 of them. You could have 5 of them, by the way. Have one in every state, or the one in the states that you love. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what's so great too. Especially what if this could be your whole business model, right? All you do is send out mail. You don't fund a thing. You use people in our community for that. And you don't sell a thing because you use brokers. How great is that? There's
a lot to be said for how well you get along or communicate with a vendor.
Right.
I'll tell you, Jill and I just renovated this house. No, we didn't renovate it. We heavily redecorated it. And there were probably 7 or 8 vendors involved. One guy was a personal recommendation from a buddy of mine who lives in the same neighborhood. And he's an electrician / audio systems installer / Wi-Fi installer, all of that, televisions, just that part. And he and I just hit it off. Mm-hmm. The first time I met him, we just got along. So now we're doing all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the other vendors, it was the exact opposite. Yeah. Like if they showed up, it was like we were lucky that they showed up.
Exactly.
And they let us know that.
They made you feel that way.
And it's just, and that's the way most of life is, If you're going to go out with, if you're going to date 5 women, one of them's going to be better for you.
You're lucky I showed up on wedding day. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. Oh boy, that's a whole scary thought. I'm trying to think of it and there's niches that are around. You covered property type. I covered this broker thing. There's niches around parts of the country. There's niches around the type of deal. There's niches around, I do smaller deals. Like I only do things under $5,000. There could be niches like I only do things above $50,000, above $100,000. There could be things like I only do deals where, there's title issues because no one wants to touch those. And I figured out how to solve them in, whatever state.
I mean, we haven't even talked about zoning.
Right. Oh, zoning niches.
I mean, there's several classes of commercial zoning in tertiary markets around every city that it's shocking what you can use them for. Mm-hmm. The commercial, like C3 in a market that we're in, is anything from a restaurant to an auto dealership to one of my personal favorites, self-storage. Mm-hmm. And then RV storage. And if you do the math on those types of businesses, they're very, very profitable. They're expensive to get into, but really once it's all set up, very, very cash flow rich and low maintenance.
There's people in our community right now that are info-lot pros. That's their niche. With all the building going on, they found a pocket and they found a builder and they're just going bananas. So there's just so much. Yep. I love it. Need to send out a few thousand offers to property owners like us? Check out offers and the number 2owners.com. So it's offers2owners.com. No setup fees, free mail merge, exceptional service, and now including just released for everyone, concierge data and pricing. It's awesome. Give Offers to Owners a call today. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow is Jill Friday. She's going to talk about doing deals during the holidays. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Should you do a deal during the holiday?
You know, I was just imagining a Christmas tree with deeds hung all over it. Think I'm kidding?
No, I don't.
I think that would be the coolest thing. Like, maybe I should do that. That'd be kind of fun.
Actually, you know what you could do is make you know how when you do a large economic transaction as an investment banker, you get a plaque, or it's called a tombstone.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that. I don't know that. I was never an investment banker.
A document, and make it real small, and then you encase it in lacquer.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
and hang that on the tree?
Like the size of a man's wallet. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That would be nice. Maybe we'll do a deed tree. I would need several trees for all the deeds that go through this business.
God, I can just see our kids rolling their eyes. Like, what are they doing now?
God.
Now we have a deed tree.
This is stupid.
Yeah. I got up early for this.
Right. And guess what I got you, sweetie? A property.
Yeah, that's every child wants a vacant piece of land.
And I love you, so I will pay the taxes until you graduate.
Until you're 18.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you have to pay for something you don't want.
Exactly. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you find our content valuable, and we really appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please check out our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
by Undervalued Property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.